Hello and welcome to another Crafty Sniper's gun review videos. On today's episode we're going to do an unboxing of my latest airsoft acquisition. I have managed to pick up a Tokyo Marui MP5K, and this video is going to be me unboxing this gun and showing you exactly what you get in this gun from Tokyo Marui. Now we're going to start off with the box, obviously. And I've got to say, most of my guns are actually G&G guns. I do have a couple of I do have a G&P. I've got quite a few TM guns, and I always find that G&G and Tokyo Marui boxes are probably some of the best. The G&P being the worst. Now, you may just think it's just a box. Does it really need to be good or bad? Well, to be honest with you, it's two things. There's artwork and there's how the gun is packed. And on the TM box, on the artwork side of it, as you can see, you've got a SAS style logo. You have obviously a picture of the gun in question, the MP5K. Lots of lettering saying what it is. Heckler and Koch MP5, the K version. Because it's Tokyo Marui, it's obviously Japanese, so you've got a lot of Japanese wording here, which I am not going to try and translate. And also, it's actually quite sturdy. Now, as I said before, G&G do some very good artwork on their boxes, and you can tell immediately what comes inside them. I'll compare to G&P, who basically is just a brown box. There's no artwork, probably a marker pen that says what the gun is, so that's pretty poor. This box is absolutely really good. Now obviously you're more interested in what's inside the box, so we're going to open up the box now and get rid of the lid, because we don't want that anymore. And what you are greeted with straight away is the manual for the Tokyo Marui MP5K. There is a lot of safeties. Don't shoot yourself, don't shoot the cat, always wear glasses, always look after your gun, don't take it out on the street, that kind of common sense stuff that we all know. Some people don't, but hey ho. If you keep turning over the pages, it soon starts telling you how to put the battery into the gun, how to set the hop up, how to attach a suppressor, the basic stuff. Now, what I will say is, because it's like I say, it's a Japanese gun, that all of this, 3/4 of this I should say, is actually in Japanese. However, that being said, the pictures are fairly self-explanatory. Anybody who's had use with an AEG will understand immediately how to load this gun up. So that's the operating manual for the MP5K from TM. Moving on to, what else we've got here? Right, moving on to something that is completely in Japanese, is something to do with the batteries. I think it's telling you what batteries this gun could take. I'm telling you now, for instance, it will not take 3/4 of these batteries. It's only going to take the stick style battery here. It tells you the basic safety of don't cut the battery, don't charge a damaged battery, that kind of stuff. Again, it's all common sense, but it's in a little flaggy folder. So I'll open up and see what else we have in this box, if I can actually open it. Okay, we have another do not shoot your pet piece of paperwork. I don't know why they put these in here. We have something that is 100% in Japanese, and I really don't know what that is. If anybody can understand that, please feel free to let me know. I think again it's just do not do's, or do-do's in your not do-do's, but what not to do to your airsoft gun. You have some paper targets to shoot at. I personally prefer to shoot at other people, but that's useful. What else we got in this place? There's a lot of stuff in here, a lot of information in here. I've got to say, they really do pack this well. This is the battery thing. Again, just a few battery notifications, nothing of any great use. And then right at the end we have, I literally have no idea what that means. It is quite literally in Japanese, so I don't know what that is. Anyway, moving on, we have the last bit of paperwork you'll be glad to hear. And once again, shock and horror, it's in Japanese. However, this one is actually saying about the suppressor cum tracer unit that you can mount to this very gun, and it's how you mount it. Obviously, you know, it's a very detailed photo, or picture I should say, of how to mount the suppressor, but the information's in Japanese, so, but it's quite simple to work out. Now, anyway, now we've got into the box. We've got the paperwork out of the way, that's the boring stuff, let's get onto the good stuff. Immediately, the first thing you're going to find is this, okay? This is Tokyo Marie's attempt of telling you where the battery would go in this package. Now, this package came with no battery. This package itself is actually second hand. I bought it off a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine. And luckily I have the batteries to go with this. Now, if you want to know what batteries will fit into the TM MP5K, it's quite simple. It's the AK style stick battery. Okay, you can't fit a nunchuck in here, you can't fit a large type battery or anything like that. It has got to be an AK stick battery. Okay, and that's what it says. It actually says just there, AK type battery. Okay, so there's no excuses, it's an AK battery. Now, also, they very kindly provided us with a speed loader. And you may be wondering, that's not a speed loader, that's a pen. This is actually TM. I've seen these quite a few times on other TM guns. This is what they provide to load your magazines up. And what happens is, it's quite ingenious. You wouldn't want to take on a battlefield, but it is quite ingenious. What happens is, you separate the two bits, and you have a tube. This is not a pea shooter, by the way. This is not when you have ammo or your batteries run low, you can use this. You put BBs into here, and they stack up into this tube. You then get the magazine underneath here, and you get the top half, and you push this through, therefore forcing the BBs into your magazine. Again, at a safe zone, this is quite a quick way of loading up your TM MP5. However, in the battlefield, not a good idea to have this around. You're going to lose it, you're going to snap it. So, it comes in a package. It's nice that they have provided such a way to load your ammunition up, but I would stick to the typical plunger style speed loaders. Moving on to the next gizmo we have the obligatory bag of BBs. These are, I do believe, are Tokyo Marine .2 BBs. Most of the time, you get a gun and they come with a bag of BBs. Don't trust them. Don't use them. Some of them are really poor quality. G&P provided some BBs. I wouldn't put them through my gun. G&G provide BBs. Use them. TM provide BBs. Use them. So by all means, I mean, it's not going to last you a great deal, but you have got some 0.2 gram BBs. We now move on to the gizmo that fits onto the end of the gun. This is what is used to attach that suppressor I was talking about earlier. Basically, it screws on into the gun. You then attach the suppressor onto the front end of this part of the gun, and it now magically has a suppressor stroke tracer unit added to the gun. Moving on, we have this thing. Literally have no idea what this is. It could be a front post sight adjuster. I'm the foggiest. It's a piece of plastic. Looks like it's meant to go onto something, but I still haven't found out what it is. So if anybody knows what this is, feel free to let me know. I'm quite actually intrigued to find out what it is, if it's very important or not. Now, because this gun came from a very reputable airsoft company in the UK, they have provided us with a laggy band. And it just says, "This is my gun hand." Okay, this is just freebie stuff that comes in with your package that you bought. Now, don't get me wrong, I love free stuff when you buy a gun. When you buy a package off a company, they like to provide you with either a patch or a sticker or some such thing. In this case, this company provided an armband thing, wristband even. So, anyway, we've got all that rubbish out of the way. Now it's on to the main stuff, the stuff that you wanted to see. And that is, just dropped, and that is, I shall get rid of the packaging now because we don't want. We also get, I've just noticed, a very, very small unjamming rod. So that tells you how big the barrel is on this gun. Anyway, this is what you came to look at. This is the TM MP5K. As you can see, that is how it will come in the come in your package. It's got a magazine already in it, so we'll get rid of that. I already know that this isn't loaded. You may be wondering what the red end is. That is just a safety device. A lot of people do say that sorry, you should have these in a safe zone. I personally don't have them. I have a collection of them sat in a wardrobe somewhere from all the guns that I've had. These guns have safeties. If the safety's on, the magazine isn't even in the gun and it's been cleared, or even if the battery's taken out, it's never going to fire. So these just turns up when you order the gun, but you just pull it straight off, showing you the barrel of the MP5K. Now, what do I think of this gun? Quite simply, it's a fantastic TM quality gun. There is very little creaking in this gun. A little bit of movement on the foregrip here, but that's nothing to really complain about. It's quite heavy. I mean, it's surprising. The TM guns, I don't know whether everyone knows this, but TM guns, obviously Japanese, their laws are a little bit different than this country or the States or anywhere else. And all their guns have to have a certain percentage of plastic in the gun's construction. And basically what you generally find is TM guns are a lot of plastic, whereas if you bought another company's version of this gun, there would be more metal. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Personally, after firing this, I couldn't give a monkey's that this thing is mostly plastic. I was going to go through and show you exactly what is plastic on this gun. However, haven't got that much time. What I'm going to show you is what's metal on this gun, and that basically isn't a great deal. Starting from the rear end of the gun, you have a gizmo for attaching it to a sling, a single point sling mount. This is metal, very good, very sturdy, it'll hold the gun, don't worry about it snapping, okay, it's good quality metal. Moving up to the, well, I'm going to include the pins that you need to dismantle the gun. They are metal. There's one just up here, there's one down the bottom here. In fact, to be honest with you, the whole back plate here, which is what this is connected to, is metal. So that's all metal. The pins are metal, obviously. The rear sight, that is metal and basically turns through four different options for basically your aperture. Obviously, this gun is not really built to be aimed down the sights. You literally just spray the enemy and bug out. That's what this gun is going to be good for. But it's good that they've got metal sights on this. Moving up to the front sight post, that is actually metal. I don't think, to be honest with you, that is actually movable or adjustable. It is just a giant big O-ring with a bit in the middle, and you know, like I said, you're not going to use a sight on this gun, to be absolutely honest with you. The charging handle, which is this gizmo here, that's metal. Now, after that, the mag release, I just found out, yep, the mag release, the MP5 style mag release is actually metal. After that, the rest of it is plastic, but it's good quality plastic. It's solid, it's built like a really solid thing. You're not going to, I've had some plastic guns and I've seen some really poor quality guns. TM are not poor quality. Okay, these guns are excellent. I would be very, very proud if my whole entire collection was a TM collection of airsoft guns, but I like to vary my collection around a bit. Anyway, so moving on to the rest of the, like I said, the rest of the gun, all plastic. Even the the foregrip here, that's plastic. Now, while I'm going on to materials, I'll show you the magazine. This is a 30 round well, it's not a mid cap, it's a, I'm going to call it a low cap actually. This is a low cap magazine. No wheel. Obviously, like I say, you literally plunge the BBs into it. You get 30 rounds in this, and 30 rounds in this gun does not last long. Not as fast as the high cycle version, but this gun is still pretty fast in emptying these magazines. So if you're going to buy this gun, get some more of these. These are actually quite cheap. I've actually found out these are actually £10 okay, at the moment in the UK for a 30 round MP5K TM magazine. That's brilliant value, £10. You can't buy, you can't get any cheaper than that. If you are wondering, yes, you can get the standard size magazines. I personally will be picking up a box set are 90 round, I do believe, magazines for the MP5K. They're plastic, but I've used magazines in my M4 and my M16, and they feed brilliantly. I'm not bothered in the slightest of the plastic. I'm not annoyed with that, but these are metal for the moment. Now, you're going to wonder, how in the heck do you get a battery in this gun? Well, I'm going to show you, because I actually have put the battery in this gun already. I have test fired it. And the battery sits in the top part of this gun. Now, that would be, I'm not 100%, but I do believe on the real MP5, that there is the actual barrel. Not this here, where the airsoft version is. That's the barrel. But that is in line with where the battery is. So that's basically, if it is true that, you know, that's not where the real steel version of the barrel is, then that's just purely because the battery has to sit at the top there, so everything's moved down a little bit. So the airsoft barrel is sat below. Now you may be wondering, how the heck do you get the battery out or in or whatever it is you want to do to it? Well, it's quite simple really. It's actually quite a simple process. As I was mentioning earlier, there's some push pins in the rear end of this gun. Like I said, there's one here and there's one here. And what you do is push the pins out. Now they're not loose, that's good quality, they're quite hard to take out. You don't want a loose pin, because if that falls out you're going to be in a world of hurt. Once you take both pins out of the rear end of the gun, you can pull off the whole rear section of this gun. That's the metal part of the gun. And it will show you the back end of the motor, back end of the gearbox I should say, and up the top there is where the battery is. I don't know whether you can see that. And you literally push this all the way in. You slide it all the way up. Now, you can't see at the moment where the connectors are. The connectors are obviously at the front of the battery. So, again, how do you connect the battery up on this gun? Well, quite simple really. Again, you have to push out some pins. Actually, it's only one pin on this one. The pin on this end of the front end of the gun is actually just where my finger is there. It's just underneath the cocking, charging handle I should say. It's just underneath there. You just push that out and you now can remove the front hand grip. That's a whole part, that's the whole part, it's all plastic and it comes out. Now, what you have is the connectors. Plus, also, you have your hop-up device, or dial, on the other side, which is, I'm going to actually be able to see this, but it's right just above where my finger is. That's where it is. It slides up and down, or should I say towards the front end of the gun and the back end of the gun, not up and down literally. And that is how you adjust your hop-up, and it's also where you connect your battery up. Now, you've got your battery in, how do you put this back together again? You've got pins everywhere, you know, that's come off. When you're putting this together, make sure, you can see the cables, that everything is nice and in line. You don't want to pinch any cables, that's the worst thing you want to do. And basically, you slide the front section of this gun, the hand grip section, on till it clicks. Okay, I can't emphasise this enough. I'm not slightly worried about the fact that the batteries the cables getting crimped or crushed or whatever, but you really, really have to pay attention when you're putting this on. Don't rush it. It's not worth busting your gun. It's a TM, it's fantastic. Don't break it because you're in a hurry. You get the pin again and you just push it straight through until it clicks in. You then get the rear section, which we had earlier. Put that back onto the rear end of the gun. You might have to press this down a bit so it gets into line. Push one pin in, push two pin in. Your gun's back to battery installed, hop set, gun's ready to go. Now, the trigger response on this gun, I have actually fired this gun at our local field, and I'm going to get onto the range in a minute. What I'm going to say is what I have noticed is the trigger response is very crisp on this 8.4 stick type battery. If you put it onto single shot, very, very crisp. Put it onto full auto. Okay, that's very, very fast fire rate. That's quite fast. You don't want really. The high cycles are brilliant, don't get me wrong. I've got a high cycle P90, love it to bits. but with a 30 round magazine, okay, if it's running at the same speed as my P90 high cycle, which is 25 BBs a second, okay, this 30 round magazine is empty in just slightly over a second. What's the point? A, you've annoyed the holy heck out of the person you shot because you just sprayed him with 30 rounds when 1 or 2 would have done quite nicely. So, to be honest with you, I like the idea of this being a standard MP5K with the standard motor in it. I don't really miss the high cycle ability of that gun. Now, moving on to how this gun feels. Now, I don't know whether people have noticed, I'm actually a lefty when I come to shoot, and excuse me, and that does have a bit of a problem for me, because let's face facts, most guns are designed to be fired right-handed. You shoulder them at the right hand. Obviously, you don't shoulder this weapon, there's no stock on it, but the controls, the mode selector switches, the mag release switches, they're all on the wrong side of the gun for me most of the time. Now, I learned to adjust, everyone will adjust in airsoft. However, this gun is actually ambidextrous, which is brilliant to all you lefties out there. Not only do you have, I'll just see this, let's pick it up, that there is your mode selector switch between full auto, semi-auto and safe. You have it on that side and you have it on that side, and it works just the same on both sides. You can move it whichever way you want, doesn't matter. Mag release, MP5's got you covered on that one and all. You have an AK style mag release, which is in the middle of the gun, so there's no worries about being left-handed on this. You can literally just release it however you like. Now, because this is I'm not going to call it a Gen 2 MP5, but there is an upgrade that's been done to real steel MP5s, and they have an M4 style mag release sat on the right hand side of the gun. Now, obviously the airsoft version has that, and basically what this means is, first of all, the AK style one allows you to take it apart, take the mag out I should say. You press this button and the same thing, your mag comes out. Now that mag release, the M4 style, is only on the right hand side, whereas obviously the AK style one is sat in the middle, so it can be used both sides. Now, as I was saying, when I took this gun, when I bought this gun, I obviously test fired it and whatnot, and I have noticed that these magazines fit incredibly brilliant inside this gun. The feeding, you get 27 rounds firing out of this thing, because as we all know in airsoft, when you've got a magazine, you fire, you pull your mag out, and the last 3 BBs just drop out of the thing. Okay, so you're going to get about 26, 27 rounds out of this magazine, and when it's installed, very little movement. There's a little bit of side to side movement, but front back, no, it's in there. Taking it apart, very easy to take the magazine out. You ain't got any worries about that. And when you insert the magazine, you can just press it in. Yeah, that click. That magazine is going absolutely nowhere. Again, TM build quality, absolutely awesome. Now, I was gonna say about the range. Actually, I nearly forgot about that. That is the party piece of this gun. Now, for all those in the know in airsoft, the longer your barrel is, the better the range is going to be. Most of the time. Now, you'd expect with the MP5K, where the hop-up device is probably somewhere in this end of the gun, so the barrel is literally probably no more than that long, okay, which is basically a pistol length barrel. You're going to expect this gun to shoot, the range is going to be next to nothing. You know, you're going to be 20 metres, 30 metres if you're lucky. I have fired this gun with 2 5s in it, and I was absolutely shocked at the range this thing achieves. It is near enough as makes a difference, M4 range. And that's something very, very impressive. Now, why do you think this gun, this little tiny little gun, can basically, near enough, in the right circumstances, get the same range as an M4 rifle? Because it's TM. TM hop systems are brilliant. the TM rubbers, I don't know how they do it, I really don't. There is a rumour going around that these guns are actually full of fairy dust. That's why you never take one apart. Normally, because TM guns are low FPS guns compared to G&Gs and ICSs and GMPs, you would never even think about putting anything bigger than a 2 inside this gun, ammo-wise. And that's what I thought originally as well. I did that with the P90. This gun thrives on 2.5s. You put 2.5s in this gun, the range is going to be incredibly accurate. And also, every BB follows the one in front of it in a line. There's no flyers, there's very few flyers I should say. I fired off a magazine of this, like this, 30 rounds, 27 rounds I should say. And each one, like a laser, straight out, probably 35, 40, maybe 45 metres, maybe even a bit longer. You know, this was quite something for a gun that size and a barrel of that big. This gun is fantastic. Now, why would you buy this gun? Now, I like to play the sniper role, okay, and I have noticed that there are certain circumstances when a sniper is in a world of hurt. That is when the target, or targets, enclose below our minimum engagement distance, which in our club is 35 metres. Now you need a gun that's going to reach out 35 metres accurately. You could use a handgun. You could use my SOCOM Mark 23, which I'll do a review of later. This gun fits that bill as a defensive weapon, a PDW weapon, for the sniper. I've got a, not Special Forces, holster. I can't think what it's called now, but it basically sits the weapon just under my arm here and allows me to carry 2 more magazines on this side, 1 in the gun. I've got 90 rounds sat here ready to go. If somebody does get too close, I can pull this gun out and let them know that they're too close. So as a sniper's backup, this is one of the best guns you can get. Some people like to have the JG Scorpion, very good gun. I'd love to do a review of that at some point. This gun, I think personally, at the moment, is the best sniper backup weapon, a fully automatic backup weapon you can buy. Handguns are great, this is better. Now, obviously after all that, me prattling on about this frankly awesome gun, you're going to want to know what the FPSs are. And that's what we're going to do in the next part of this video. So stay tuned for that part. Okay, this is the chrono test for the TM MP5K, and just a reminder, we are using .2 ammunition with an 8.4 stick type or AK style battery. Okay, weapons are on single shot, and this is the first one. I will do one more just for the heck of it. Okay then, final thoughts on the TM MP5K. As you can see in the chrono test, most of the BBs were leaving at around the 244 to the 250 mark, which is pretty much bang on for a TM gun. I don't know whether any more extra FPS would make this gun any better. It's already, frankly, awesome. Okay, one way of putting it. Like I say, I fired this gun. I haven't fired it in anger yet, at other people. However, I have fired it at range, and I find the range is fantastic. Far too much for what this gun really should be doing. But if you want an MP5K, you really have to seriously take a look at the TM version, because even though there is other versions, I do tend to think that TM do make the whole package in airsoft guns. There is the, I think G&G do one, and that's going to be a good gun. I'm not sure actually if G&G do one. Anyway, I have seen other MP5Ks, gas, electric, that kind of stuff, and they're probably good guns, but seriously, this gun is amazing. You're going to want an MP5K, take a look at it, take it out of field, test fire it. It's going to be a great gun, won't let you down. So anyway, that was the unboxing review of the TM MP5K. Hopefully, like I say, I've got many more guns that need to be reviewed. I am going to start doing a few more match play style videos. I don't quite know when they're going to turn out because weather is always against me, especially in this country. But I will be banging out more and more reviews, videos, and hopefully we'll see you then with a new airsoft gun to review, or airsoft piece of kit to review even. So until then, until next time, stay safe, don't try anything stupid, and remember, TM MP5K, brilliant.